If you hood educated, I'm glad you made it. Allow me to unfold my knowledge, wisdom, and understanding from a hood brother's point of view to all of you, here, there, and everywhere. Now check me out.
Not no guilty. If you think they're gonna find him guilty and they just put manslaughter on as a charge and it wasn't on there in the beginning, you don't know law. Yeah. We already got the money set aside for appeals bond. Why? All white jury, the judge and the DA are buddies, along with the dad, best friends. That's been our trump card. We've been holding. We already knew that, but we wanted everything to play out how they had it.
Did y'all just hear what Charleston White just said? He says that the prosecution, the judge, and the father of Metcalf are friends. Now, to some people, probably you think like, man, so what? They friends, like that ain't nothing. But wait a minute, this is concerning. If this is true, this is very concerning. And let me explain to y'all why it's concerning. Because that right there would be a conflict of interest. Allow me to break it down for y'all, right? Here's the conflict. Metcalf, son gets killed. Right? Jeff Metcalf. This is the father's name. His son gets killed. The prosecution is his friend. The judge is his friend. And they are trying the case against the guy that killed Jeff Metcalf's son. That's a conflict. Because here it is, we homies, we cool. The guy that killed my son over here, y'all my boys. Y'all better send him up the river. Y'all better play dirty. You understand what I'm saying? Now, in cases like that, because stuff like this really do happen. But usually when stuff like that happen, the prosecution removes himself from the case. The judge removes himself from the case. Because they understand that is a conflict of interest. That right there is an automatic appeal. That's automatic. That right there is an automatic reversal of the conviction, new trial, all that. You see what I'm saying? That's automatic. But is it the truth? And what I mean by that is Jeff Metcalf cool with the prosecution and the judge? Are all three of these guys buddy, like Charleston White said? Let's dig into the evidence. Check it out. Now, I want you to take a really good look at this picture. This right here is a picture that has been posted all over social media saying that Jet Metcalf, the guy with the red circle around his head, and these other three guys are all friends. But not just friends. The other three guys supposed to be the judge that was on the case and the two prosecuting attorneys, the district attorneys that was on the case. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I don't like to be lied to, misled, or nothing like that. I'm a seeker of the truth, and that's what I enjoy, learning what's real and, doing away with falsehood and everything that is fake. So what I need y'all to do is look at this picture real close. Just look at it. Look at the three men, okay? Get a real good image of these guys in your head. Now, I want to show you the actual judge that was on the case. This is Judge John Roach. He looks nothing like none of the men in the before picture that I just showed y'all. Now let's dig a little deeper. These are the district attorneys. We have District Attorney Bill and we have District Attorney Greg. Neither one of them look like that picture that is being shown all over social media explaining to the emotional multitude that, hey, these are the father and the prosecutor and the judge, and they're all cool. Here's a picture of them. Come on now, y'all. Now, I know a lot of people want to believe that picture because they are in their emotions. And when you in your emotions, you make irrational decisions. But here is the facts of the matter. This is the truth. That picture is falsehood. Now, allow me to say this right here. If there is other pictures out there, or if there is a connection between them, through my research, I haven't found it. If it come out later, okay, cool. But as of right now, it sounds like falsehood to me. And it appears to be lies. Now, being that I just showed y'all that the picture that is circulating around on social media saying that these guys are buddy, and that picture right there is, you know, all of them together at a Christmas party and all that, that's falsehood. That's falsehood. You see? Now, the cold-blooded part about all that is that, look, if they banking on that picture to try to get this boy an appeal, get his conviction reversed, that's not going to do it. That's not going to happen. Because we just proved that, you know, his father is not cool with the judge. Is not cool with the prosecution, right? Now, look, let's be 100. For all of us, right? Let's use ourselves for an example. People that we call our friends, if we have a social media account, you're going to see us with our homies. You're going to see us with our friends. You're going to see us with our family. You see what I'm saying? You're going to see us hugged up with them, laughing, giggling, smoking that good old mountain lion kush with them, drinking, high-fiving, playing spades, laughing, talking crazy. These are our friends. But from my research, from that picture that's all around social media, I don't see it. And from what Charleston White said, I mean, from my research, I don't see no connection. Now, is the prosecuting attorney and the judge friends? Hell yeah, they friends. Yeah, they friends all day long. The lawyer is friends with the judge and the prosecutor too. Because they all went to the same schools, y'all. They all went to law school. They just had different decisions. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be a defense lawyer. I want to be a prosecutor. You know what? I want to be a prosecutor and a defense lawyer, but later on, I want to be a judge. See, they all go to the same schools. You see what I'm saying? They all cool. They all are connected to one another because of the school they went to. So if we do see a picture of the judge, the prosecutor, and the lawyer together, hey, that's not a foul. That's harmless. You see what I'm saying? That's harmless. But if we see them with the father, then we got something, right? But I don't see it yet. So now, what else do they have, right? What else are people coming up with? A lot of people are saying that, listen, it's an automatic appeal because he had a all-white jury. And, you know, that's unfair, right? He should have some brothers and sisters on the jury. If not that, he should have some, you know, some Latin brothers, sisters, some Asian brothers, sisters, some Samoans, something besides just an all-white jury. But let me tell y'all how this thing go. When they tell you that they are giving you a jury of your peers, listen, they're not talking about they're going to give you all black people, because you would think and say, hey, black people are my peers. We have a identity together. We're African American, right? When they say jury of your peers, they're not talking about age range. Look, I'm 25 years old. Everybody on my jury should be in their 20s. That doesn't mean that. Listen, when they say a jury of your peers, this is what the law is talking about. Whatever county you get your case in, whatever county you catch a case in, wherever county that you commit a crime in and you are going to trial, those people that make up the population of that county is the jury of your peers. It don't matter if they white, black, young, old. It don't matter. Those are your jury. Those are the jury of your peers, whatever county you in. So look, for an example, let's say let's say a white person catch a case or commits a crime in a predominantly black county, right? Who you think his jury is gonna be? Who you think the jury of his peers gonna be? The people in the county. They're not gonna say, wait, hold on, he's white, we can't have all these black people on the jury. We need all white people because he's a white man, he's 52 years old, and we need 52 and up or 52 down to 48. It don't work like that, y'all. But I don't look. A lot of y'all don't understand that, and I'm glad y'all don't understand that because y'all ain't never been through the criminal judicial system before, and that's a good thing. But for those of us who have been in that criminal judicial system, listen, we understand how it works. You see what I'm saying? We understand how this thing go. And it don't go like that. All that, he should have had black people on the jury. I understand that, yeah, but this is the law, y'all. Now, someone who is being identified as a staff member at the school where the murder happened, right? This person has came forward, I'm talking about, and gave us a whole new perspective as to what happened, right? This person right here broke the thing down so cold-blooded that if this is the truth, man, Carmelo Anthony shouldn't be in jail. Check it out.
The one that they're showing is the one that's right to the right side of 50 yard.
Right.
So it's directly showing where Carmelo and them were.
Okay.
So you actually see them walking up. You see that Carmelo is already up under there. He's under there minding his business.
Dodging the rain, or
yeah, it was still rain.
Right.
I'm familiar with them. So that day we were under a tornado watch.
Right.
And we were under thunderstorm warning, and we know we had already had some light rain then, and it started raining again. Then it was over with for the day.
Okay.
So that's kind of what happened on that day. But they were at a rain delay already. And so during that time, when that happened, the twins, their two buddies, and a few other kids, because there was a few kids involved with them, they were all coming from the direction of the middle school, coming walking back up.
Right.
On the video, you can see those four that actually was involved, and maybe about 3 or 4 others that was with them, skipping up, trying to catch up behind. One veered off probably toward his way to go to the coach and kind of distract him a little bit. And then the other 4 came walking together. One went in front of them, went past.
Right.
The other 4 went and they surrounded Carmelo. If you're Carmelo.
And they showed it on that video.
It's on the video.
Okay, come on.
You can see him walk
I'm going to
up.
say little
And
stuff.
I'll put it this way.
Okay.
They actually tell you when you're watching the video, pay attention to this corner right here, because if you look anywhere else, you might miss different things.
Okay.
So watch those 4. Here, there are 4 right there coming up.
Right.
That's exactly what they say.
Okay.
And so you have no way to be confused that it's those 4.
Okay.
So they come up, they surround them, and this immediate moment of not even a few seconds of pause, then that's when they jump. And so
they actually did jump him.
Yeah, it wasn't just no touch. It wasn't just all that moment. Yeah, it was a push. It was all kind of things. But Austin pushed, Hunter hit, and then everybody swung. But at the same time,
So it's more than the twins that got some licks
all
on
4.
them. So it showed that in the video.
Yes, in the video. So again, you got Hunter and Austin standing in the middle.
Okay.
And you have the light bright boy here, and you have the darker boy here.
Okay.
I think that's what I remember. So I have to go back and think about it. But that's where they were. One was going up and down while they were talking, kind of pushing or whatever he was doing. Austin and Hunter was in front. So where they're talking about grabbing bags, Hunter actually said that I grabbed his bag.
Right.
And then later on, he said that Austin threw the bag.
Okay.
Jeff also said the same thing. And so that's them both antagonizing. And we
Right.
know under Texas law, I just have the fear that you're about to do something to me and you can get up out of here.
Right.
Yeah, so you don't have to touch me. But at that point, he still stood there and stopped there. And whatever they say alleged was said, you don't know that until they get into it here. But once they did that, they started hitting him. Carmelo actually was able to back out and try to get away. So he was actually trying to get away the first time. Austin grabbed him, and you can see his hoodie coming out like this, and they brought him back in.
Okay.
And when they brought him back in, that's when you can see Austin put him in a headlock. You can see that all the rest of them are still hitting. That must be when the poke happened, because he was able to get out again. He backed out. He looked to the right. That's where the other little kid was filming, but they got some cell phone footage too. But that's where he was filming. He looked directly at him in his camera, and then he went this way to the left. He went down. He fell. And that's when they realized he was gone. So they were still punching. And when he fell, that's when they all turned around. They started chasing him. Austin tried to go chase him too, but he grabbed his chest. I guess he realized that something happened to him. And that's when he went down a little bit and he fell down. But all three of them were chasing. But Carmelo was so fast, he got away and went around to the coach. And so you can see them on the video pointing toward Carmelo and the coach. And I can imagine, because Carmelo's out of the camera on that moment, that he was telling the coach what happened. And then that's when Hunter said he whipped his head around. That's a true statement. He just wasn't sitting when he did. He whipped his head around. You see him on the video. And that's when he walked over to where Austin was, but he never touched him. So all that stuff about him rendering aid and holding his heart, he never did that, because the coach grabbed him and he was holding him. So at the end of the day, that's kind of where the moment went. But they did assault him, and we'll just play the game. Even if it was just a push, you still assaulted him, because it was unwanted. By your own definition in your word, if I'm saying that leave me alone and I'm not going, you assaulted him, period. But they did beat him. And if you look at the, not the photo that Fox 4 put out, because that was one that they actually edited. I have the emails to prove it. But the actual Collin County one, you can see the webs and stuff on his eye. You can see the bridge of his nose is swollen. You can see the webs under his neck. And so that's the reason why they edited the one from Fox and kind of airbrushed it. And you can see they put the locks of his hair that got taken out.
Y'all see that? Y'all heard what that brother said? He said, man, they was ganging up, running up. It's video footage of them jumping him and everything. And that they chased him and ran, and that the victim didn't even know he was stabbed because he was trying to chase him until later on and stuff like that. This is from a video that he's saying that he's seen with his own two eyes. Let me tell y'all why I have a problem with that. During the trial, that never came up. Never. And being that he had a paid attorney that they spent a lot of money on to do investigative work and stuff like that, I would like to believe in my mind, if the video that this brother seen is the truth, that the defense, they'd have been all on that. They'd have been like, hey man, look, let us show you that they jumped him, because the whole thing is self-defense. Carmelo Anthony is saying, look, I protected myself, man. You know, I protected myself. He put his hands on me. You see what I'm saying? Never once did Carmelo Anthony say, hey, look, check this out. They jumped me. This is court documents I'm talking about. This is not something I'm just pulling out my mind. He never once said to the police when he got arrested, the brother never said that, hey man, they jumped on me. You know what he said? I told him don't put his hands on me. He put his hands on me. I did it. You see? But now this brother coming out saying, no, he got jumped. So then we got to ask ourselves, because we hood educated, not lane related. Why didn't Carmelo Anthony say that during his interview with the police? He didn't say that. He didn't even say that he was in fear for his life. What he did say was, hey, look, I self-protected myself. Self-defense. I was protecting myself. You see what I'm saying? And that the guy, Metcalf, put his hands on me. Right? That's what he said. Now we got this brother right here saying that he seen the video. The man got jumped on and all this old type of stuff. Listen, y'all, let me tell y'all something. Being that this is a self-defense case, something like that would be prominent. They would have led the charge. Hey, look, they tried to jump him. These big old football players, they all beat on him. You see, they all jumped him. That's self-defense. You getting beat on by these big old guys. Hey, man, look, I think they finna kill me. Yeah, you got a case there. But in the case where they saying that according to the court documents, according to the video that they showed in the courtroom, they saying that you can see Metcalf put his hands on Carmelo's shoulder, telling him to leave. Then you can see Metcalf pushing him or ushering him out of the tent, like trying to force him out of the tent. And that's when Carmelo pulled that knife and hit him one time and ran. This is video footage. These is court documents. This is not something that I'm just coming up with. You see what I'm saying? So, look, the video that the brother talking about he seen, look, we need to see that video. Where is that video at? You see, where is that at? Because the video footage that was from the track meet from the school, it don't show what he's talking about unless there's another video. Now, allow me to say this right here. This brother is being identified. He didn't identify himself, but you know, social media is identifying him as a staff member that worked at the school. I can't believe that. I can't. And let me explain to y'all why I can't believe it. According to reports, they are saying that brother that I just showed y'all is a registered offender. And I'm not talking about a violent, offender, because, some violent offenders have to register too. You got a kidnapping case. I don't know about y'all, but in Minnesota, if you got a kidnapping case, I believe first-degree murder and I believe first-degree burglary type stuff, home invasion, you're going to have to register as a violent offender. But I'm not talking about that type of offender. Yeah, I'm talking about one of those ones that like people that are younger than them. You see what I'm saying? They saying that this man right here traveled 200 miles to go meet somebody that was younger than him, right? He can't work at no school. No, Them type of people are not allowed on school grounds to even work, to even cut the lawn or nothing. You see what I'm saying? You supposed to be far away from a school. You see what I'm saying? So, look. That right there, and then, everything that he's saying, it don't pass, the hood educated test. I'm just being 100 with y'all. That right there don't pass it for me. But now Charleston White done stepped up and said, hey, look, check this out. I'm putting up $75,000 for Carmelo Anthony's appeal. Check it out.
Yeah, I'm putting up the 75,000 for the kid's appeal. So yeah.
Yeah, I was just watching a video on that when you called.
Yeah, I'm putting it. They need 150, but I'm putting up 75. But I'm trying to raise $1 million. This kid.
Send me the links when you got it.
I will. So I'm finna set up an interview with with the dad. And say Cheese TV at a black church with a black pastor who I'm trust, and this will be the mom and dad first time talking. Let me just say this: black people hurt this family.
Y'all see that? Charleston White said he gonna put up $75,000, and he trying to raise $1 million. Now look, allow me to say this right here. Based on the grounds of the all-white jury. Look, that ain't gonna happen, y'all. I gotta be 100 with y'all. It's so many brothers locked up that had an all-white jury and tried to run that play right there. It don't work like that. The only way you come back and get a reverse of your conviction, because you had an all-white jury, your appeal attorney has to prove to the higher courts, to the appeals court, or to the Supreme Court that, hey, look, check this out. The prosecution was malicious. and discriminated against the black juries. If they can't prove that he was malicious in his striking the black jurors, if they can't prove that he discriminated against the black jurors because of the race or the color of their skin, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. That's just how it goes. Now, look, before I depart, allow me to say this right here. This whole ordeal is an unfortunate situation. Anytime a mother and her child departs because he got to go to the penitentiary, look, that's not good, and especially, us in our community, we have been done so wrong for so many years that when this type of stuff happens, we get upset. We tired of it happening like this. But I gotta be 100 with the community. Listen, y'all. Anytime we go in that courtroom, we gotta expect that things are not gonna go in our favor. But not only that, we gotta be real about the circumstances that surround the case. We can't be rioting and getting mad, at a situation where somebody is completely wrong. Now look, I understand. The boy Metcalf, he ain't had no business trying to push him out from the tent. He was bogus for that. He was out of pocket. What he should have did was go get the coach and say, hey coach, listen, there's a guy in here that we don't want in here because he's not a part of the team. He's causing problems or whatever the case may be. Can you please have him removed? Right? That's the right thing to do. But I understand because I was in high school before. And those football players, they are big and they do like to push their weight around and bully people. I understand that part right there. So if that's the case, because that's what it appears to be, look, he bullied the wrong person that day. He probably been bullying people, the last few years, and it's been working for him. But that day, it did not work for him. So he was wrong for doing that. But just as he was wrong, we gotta be 100. To pull a knife and stab somebody at school, that's wrong. But we have a lot of emotional brothers and sisters that will bypass the crime. And they're just looking at, this is a black boy. He in a white community in Texas. They trying to railroad him. They trying to do this. We already know the railroad stuff is going to happen. We already know that. But we can't get past the facts of the case. He stabbed somebody. And that person died. Being 100. Like I said yesterday, if that was your son, you would be in the courtroom saying, hey, get that boy all day long. He killed my son because my son just pushed him. You see? So we got to be 100 with it. And we got to stop allowing our emotions to make irrational decisions for us. Because look, y'all, and this right here probably finna hurt some people, but I got to say it. They raised almost $1 million for this boy's defense. And look what happened. Is that money well spent? Where's the return on the investment? You see what I'm saying? Like that $600,000 right there that they raised, that could have went to some stoves or something. That could have went to a community, building a house for the community or something. That $600,000, that all the money that people sunk in there, all emotional and all that old type of stuff, could have been put to some real good use. Not because of somebody's criminal acts. I got to be 100 about that. We spending all this money and now Charleston White telling us he trying to raise $1 million for what? For an appeal for a young boy that killed somebody? That admitted that he killed somebody? You see, never once said when he first was interviewed by the police that I was in fear for my life, man. Look, I was just protecting myself. You know what I'm saying? He shouldn't have put his hands on me. Look, We teach our kids that all the time. We do. I was taught that. Let them talk all they want to, but if they put their hands on you, then you can lay the world on them. You see what I'm saying? We've been taught that. But we gotta understand the language. Our mothers and fathers did never say, kill them. You see, if somebody put their hands on you, you better kill them. They ain't never said that. It just said if they put their hands on you, defend yourself, protect yourself. Don't let nobody bully you around like that. But to bring a knife and stab somebody and kill him, whether he was white, black, Asian, Latin, what? Come on, y'all. That's a crime. We can't get around that. I understand that we are tired that, sometimes, when we, get unjust things happen to us. Yeah, be mad, be upset about that. Be upset about that. Be mad because we know that, the courtroom don't always go in our favor. We know that the deck is stacked up against us as soon as we go in the courtroom on our first appearance. We understand that right there. But in the case where the facts are clear and the circumstances surrounding the case are clear, we can't allow our emotions to drag us to a place that we don't belong. And that's sitting up here fighting for a cause that, come on, look. We shouldn't be fighting for nothing like that. If you want to fight for something, man, look. All those kids that are dying in the black community right now today, fight for that. Where's the rage for that? Where's the exhaustion? Ain't you tired of that? What about all the drugs being sold in the black community? Are we tired of that? What about the young black girls that are being misused and pimped out and taken advantage of? Are we tired of that? What about our children in the community growing up in gang-infested environments? Are we tired of that? That's where that $600,000 should have went to. Not because this boy right here killed somebody for putting their hands on him. This is Hood Educated, not Lame Related. Peace and love, and y'all take care of yourself out there. If I said anything that caused you to think, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. And if you're feeling generous, please make a small donation to the channel. Peace and love.